Vixen episode 4. Definitely a fun episode. The only thing I didn't like is something I mentioned last week is that they did actually show all the footage we saw from the first episode in this one, which did take up about 2 minutes. We got to see a little bit extra from the very beginning of it, and of course what happened after she fell off the building, which definitely and kind of obviously led to her actually flying, which is very cool. Like, cause I believe I mentioned this last time as well. I didn't know exactly what the extent of her powers were. If she would just flat out be able to fly, or if she would glide, because she doesn't actually have wings, or how it worked really. So it was cool to actually get that answer for me at least, and it was also cool just to see it because we did get to see the chase, and it was still cool to see it all over again. Admittedly, it was pretty sweet. Um, they did skip over some scenes. Like, I think some stuff was kind of condensed just a little bit, but for the most part, we did get to see all of the same stuff. But it was still fun. We got to see a conversation between these three characters. We also got to hear from Felicity in this episode, which was pretty cool. Um, it was nice. It was pretty cool. We got to see Vixen actually using her powers quite a bit, which, like I said, we saw, from the first episode. It was obvious from that opening shot that she eventually would get a clear understanding of her abilities, and she certainly does in this episode. She uses camouflage, she uses super speed, she uses super strength, she uses the ability to fly, and it was fun to watch her do all of those different powers. And then she kind of just takes off, from Flash and Arrow, and it's like, look, I'm not a metahuman. I have magical powers. Doesn't concern you. Don't show up at my dad's house or I'll destroy you both. And then she takes off. And it's like, well, as Barry put it, it went pretty well because normally he gets beat out. But I don't think Oliver considers that a win, considering, she just took off. They did a whole chase scene. She's pissed off at them. And she will kill them if they show up again at her father's house. And now she's gone. And also, we get to see her go back to Malcolm. And I don't know how they set that up exactly, unless she was bugged or something the whole time. Because her going back there and then, like, Queen Bee, still possibly not Queen Bee, but I'm just going to assume it's Queen Bee. And, like, her goons, them showing up after she just, out of nowhere decided to go there because she understands her powers a bit better now. Them showing up didn't make a lot of sense to me. It's also just TV, and they could actually explain it in the next episode. They probably won't, and I don't know if I want them to because we only get like 5.5 minute episodes. I'm okay with like just thinking it doesn't make sense, honestly, because it's such a small chunk of story. But I did enjoy it. I'm really excited to see what we're gonna get out of next week's episode, especially now that we have our actual villain interacting with our main hero. I'm excited for that. I don't know if we're actually going to see, the Arrow and the Flash actually coming in to help Vixen out or anything like that. But she's meeting her main rival at this point, and that's really good. That's very exciting. I don't know exactly what story we're going to get or what relation they're doing. Because I mentioned this before, I definitely don't really know anything about Vixen. I don't know what other characters she is actually related to as far as like characters from Africa and things like that. So I don't know if this character knows her family or of her family and her lineage and things like that, or if they might actually be family, and which has happened before in the DC universe. This side of, this person from the family is good and this person's not so good, but they certainly want that power. So we'll see how it all plays out, but I'm very excited for it. I still enjoyed the chase, even though I wish we got to see some new stuff. Like 100% new stuff would have been great, or like even if it was more story stuff, if it was like pretty much none of that chase, if like a good minute was taken out and more of it was set towards getting to learn exactly what's happening between Vixen and who I'm once again is assuming Queen Bee, I would have been totally fine with that. But with 5.5 minutes, we're just gonna get what we're gonna get. I still love the episode, love the action, like the interaction between the characters, and it seems like they realize that now they're not dealing with a metahuman. They know that things are a little bit different. So I'm kind of excited for the next scene we get with Barry and Oliver, because it's gonna be like, all right, you're not metahuman. What the heck? Now they're dealing with magic, and they still haven't even gotten to people who just, flat out have superpowers yet in the sort of TV DC universe. So I'm excited for them kind of dealing with what magic truly is. And, it might be a bit further down the line as far as actual superpowers and all that stuff. But for now, we have our actual, this is technically the introduction as far as the CW DC universe into the magical realm. Like, they actually talked about it, and it was kind of introduced in the last one where the characters understood it, but now they know for sure. Like, they even got it from Vixen herself, like, this is magical, F you guys, I'm out of here. But they at least got it, so now they have their full introduction, like, alright, she's not metahuman, but she has powers, and it's actually magic based. So that was very cool. I'm excited to see, like I said, what we get from these characters now that they've been introduced to magic on a different scale. Because of course, with the Lazarus Pit and stuff, in Arrow, that's, I think we can all just consider that magic in itself, even though it's like technically chemicals, in the water and stuff. But still, that's pretty much magic. But now it's something totally different, like true mystical magic that gives someone insane abilities of all different types of creatures. But love the episode. Of course, I want to know what you guys thought about it, so please comment below. Let me know your favorite parts, your least favorite parts. And once again, with these episodes being so short, there isn't much to really ask you guys, like, the big question out of this big scene or anything like that. But we did have a pretty awesome chase scene, and even though we had it in the beginning, I didn't really ask, but I want to know what, was like your favorite moment from the chase scene, because we had, Barry, being unable to catch someone. We have a character that's actually flying, which won't look as, silly as it does, in live action because it's CG and everything. So it's just animated and it looks great because they can do close-ups and it's someone flying. And, we had all sorts of different stuff. We had, like, super strength, super speed, invisibility, and flying, things like that. So there were a lot of cool moments. So I want to know, what was, like, your favorite ability that you got to see? Because for me, I think it would have to be the flying, because it just looked cool the way that it was done. Everything else was just like, an on-foot chase, which happens. And it was done with someone who has, like, super strength, or basically just hides. I mean, doing camouflage is like going around a corner and hiding in the right spot. So for me, I would have to say it was flying. Not just because it was like, oh, she activated the ability to fly, but it just looked the coolest because you can't really fly in any other capacity. You can run really fast and dodge someone simple enough, even if you don't have super speed. If someone, you have normal speed, they have normal speed, you cannot run somebody. You can hop over stuff. If something isn't super heavy, you can knock it down. Those type of things you see all the time. Like I said, the camouflage thing is a bit different than just going around a corner, but it is still just hiding in plain sight. But there's really no substitute for just flying. So for me, it was flying, but I want to know, what you guys thought about it. So please comment below, let me know, and thanks for watching.